Part 2 of Gardener Gone Wild goes to Otari-Wilton's bush. And, well, here it goes. Time to roll the footage. Now here's not a terribly common sight. And, you might be wondering what this is. It just looks like another piece of supplejack. And that is because it is another piece of supplejack. However, it's a young piece. It's a piece that has come from the ground and has decided to begin its perilous journey up into the canopy. However, it's not that perilous, mainly because the canopy isn't that high up. And as of course, it's doing what any good climber would do, and that is reach the peak of a mountain. No, I'm serious. Only reason why vines and climbers exist is to get from the ground to the source of a light in a forest canopy. Trees actually have the same goal as well. However, trees use the idea of slowly growing from a small little seedling. Well, it's actually technically a sucker because it's coming up from the base of that tree here. And yes, slowly growing their way up, surviving the shade in the interim while doing so. However, climbers are after a fast, cheaty route up. And that's what they do. Climbers cheat. Unlike a tree that puts all of that energy into developing a big solid trunk. Those ferns aren't exactly that solid trunk-wise. And climb their way up. Well, not grow their way up as a tree would. But a climber has a thin stem and uses the support of other trees to make its way up. So that's how they cheat. They don't put all the energy into it and they just make their way up. So that they can enjoy this glorious sunlight, which here in the Flax clearing, there would be plenty of it. However, it's a shady day. So that means there probably isn't that terribly much of it, but there's still plenty for a shade-loving tree. In fact, could be too much. However, I like this overcast day, and I'm going to stop here briefly for a break. As you can see, I'm not the only person who enjoys the Flax clearing. Bunnies also enjoy it too. And as I take a rest here, probably lying in some bunny poo while doing so. It's just nice. Anyway, you viewers out here probably don't want to watch a whole video of me with my eyes closed, talking about aimless and pointless things. So that is why I'm going to press the off button. After a break, aka literally a couple of minutes sitting down and having a look at my map and having a peppermint, I am going to head off. Now if anyone has any good mints out there that are really strong and don't have any artificial sweeteners and preferably aren't too sweet or sugary, then well, I'm open for product placement. Of course I hope the channel will be a bit bigger by that point, which yet again is another good reason to like and subscribe. It's quite funny to see where it's called the Flax clearing. Got some nice plantings here, but well, this is the only stuff that comes close to flax. And be honest, it's not flax. So wow. I guess I meant grass, so you kind of got your grass there, but that's about it really. Now it's not actually technically grass as in a grass, oh actually it probably is. Anyway, I'm not the expert on anything grass-like. Oh, except for flax. How did I not notice the flax over here? Silly, silly me. Anyways, back onto the path. The Gardener Gone Wild Path Expedition. A little bit slippery, so that's why I'm reducing my speed. I hear birdies. we went here in our previous expedition. As you can see, if we raise the camera up, look at those tawa trees. So look how dramatically they come out from the clearing here. This is actually a really nice little clearing. This is not actually very clear lower down. It's all this bush regenerating in this gap. So yet again, light is precious in a forest. Some things are evolved to survive without much light, and other things are evolved to make their way up to light, like this applejack, so they can get a maximum benefit from return of photosynthesis. And these ferns prefer the shade, they've adapted for the shade, and they generally don't like anything else, so yes, they're the dwellers of the dark side. Or something like that. Anyway, it's another mossy wall and more root steps. So of course, where else are we going when in the bush, or the forest, or the jungle, or the temperate rainforest? Wellington is stunning with its ups and downs. Because of course, interesting topography always creates a more interesting adventure. Guess what? We're back down to a stream. And a bridge. In fact, where else would we be? Here we have another tree where the current has eroded out most of the soil beneath it, and it has formed these strong buttressed roots to keep it suspended, even though look at how big it is. Now here was the kahikatea I was talking about. Look at it! Just this big mass of, well, I was about to say massiness, but that's not terribly imaginative. So you can see it has its leaves up here. Stem progressively gets longer through shedding all those leaves. And when it flowers, which it obviously currently isn't, you can harvest those you can use those soft fleshy leaves as well, a form of food, I guess, if you're desperate. That's around the fruit when they're white and succulent. And apparently they taste a bit like pears. Yes, pears. So I do like pears, so I must try that one day. Firstly, the leaves have a traditional significance in Maori weaving, as they're good for doing the fine weaving. So, you know, the flax leaves are a lot coarser and better suited for, you know, baskets and mats and all that kind of stuff. And obviously the kahikatea leaves are finer and better used for more delicate work, or just finer stuff anyway, you know. So weaving is finer and there's less gaps in it for things to fall through. Here's another example of a tree that rotted out from the centre. So that's obviously where it came from, and if we pop up to the top, we can see that the tree was effectively hollow. And this could have easily been by the action of a fungus, or fungi, or whatever you want to call it. Otherwise, this could have been a rata tree. And judging by these thick vines, that is also quite plausible. However, it's sufficiently decayed that I cannot tell the difference. So I'll just assume it's fungal. And yet again, it's one of the fungi that, same with that Hangout tree that I'd shown you right down at the bottom, it just rotted out, you know, the centre, and the rest of it was fine until it was placed on such a strain that it just fell over. The end. Okay, so I'm heading back to where I was in the last video, or at least the last one at Otari-Wilton, and obviously saying hello to my friend, the actual 800-year-old rimu, and I'm heading a lot further today. So I might go back to where I teleported away from last time. Past this little cluster of kauri trees with some tawa thrown in. I just have a special fondness for kahikatea. And over the rooty terraces. Tutti rooty fruity. As you can see, there's plenty of more of them. We are nearly there, folks. Just down this last ridge. And here we have it. The clearing that I was in last time. And yes, the wood is even there as proof. So, it is time for us to march onwards and see what other wonders and surprises Otari-Wilton has in store for me, Gardener Gone Wild, and you, the viewer, who is cool because you're watching this video. I'm just slowing down a little bit because after wet running, just need to do a bit of walking to well, you know, breathe and rest up for more running that is about to come soon. That, and who wants to be running up hills all day? We can walk up the hills and then run down. Jolly good fun. That's all I can say. As you can see, this is mostly kauri forest. A fair few other things in here too. A lot of these climbing ferns. Yes, ferns. That do the creeper thing and climb not right up the top, but pretty close, where there's a good source of light that isn't too much for them. See it again. A lot of ferns, not all ferns, but most ferns don't like the harsh, strong, direct sunlight. That's because, you know, in a way, they're primitive plants that have been kind of shoved in the evolutionary shadow, shall we say. And obviously angiosperms for higher seed plants, and especially in temperate and subtemperate areas for conifers, which are gymnosperms, have taken main dominance of the planet's biosphere. However, ferns, due to their ability to utilise even really low light levels, still have their niche, especially in these kind of damp habitats where, say, in a forest or a mist, dew and rain is trapped. Well, a good deal of that greenery is ferns, like on the ground. Ferns. Ferns and ferns. Lots of ferns. We have a tree where, so you can see a lot of that central wood is actually rotted out. However, it still stands, produces lots of roots, and still keeps marching on. As you can see, we have this nice little stream here. I do like a good stream. That's interesting. Often these walks there's an original steep path. However, when it gets eroded, often a secondary path is created. However, I do like these rooty terrace paths. I personally prefer them over those newer, flatter paths. Now, as you can see, all that light getting into the canopy now. It's a lot of undergrowth. And yeah, it's quite interesting how, so in Wellington there's a lot of kawa because there used to be a lot of possums in Wellington. And kawa is a plant that possums do not eat. So certain things possums like eating, certain things possums don't. And in these videos, we deem possums to be vegan. So that means they don't go along and eat chicks and all of that, like the Department of Conservation propaganda. They eat plants. And oh, the supplejack's nice and cool. And yeah, since they eat plants, Their digestive systems are not designed to eat animals, and they're actually trained to eat animals for a lot of that stuff. It's a highly controversial view. However, I believe it to be true. And yeah, I believe it, sure. Possums can cause a lot of damage to our native vegetation. Sure, as any grazing animal, deer, boar, ruminant, well actually boars also eat up animals, so they're a bit different. But yeah, obviously that's all they do is eat the vegetation. There's plenty of other culprits that will eat our native animals. So believe me, it's enough on that. I just had to click off for the sake of clicking off. As you can see, we have made our way up to the sign that says we can go to the Skyline Walkway. However, I don't think the Skyline Walkway is the way to go today. And I need to figure out what this means, so I'm just going to stop for a minute and have a look at my map. Aha! That way takes me on a nice long walk that I don't have time for today. And this one takes me on a walk that some would deem long, but I don't really deem it that long. And I've plenty of time for it today. And that is a somewhat rotten bench seat. But it's probably still perfectly good. And yeah, we have Darwins Barbieri, a exotic plant, which well, where were we? Which is a bit spiky, a bit Barbieri, and normally it has these nice flowers and berries. However, this is a somewhat young specimen and doesn't possess any of them. So that's definitely a talk for another day, but I always love the look of their leaves. And let's push onwards, shall we? Past these ferns and all this good stuff. And ducking under this log, and downwards we go. It's a little leaf litter. That's the case of getting way down here. Continuing the mountain goat excursion. Whee! Whoa! I think the sun's coming up. But yeah, always like a good trek. Hope it's not too bumpy for you, the viewer. It's a fairly bumpy ride. Woohoo! And there is Rata. Whoa, I wasn't expecting to see Rata today. It's out in bloom, and that's the tree that I was talking about. It grows up as a vine when it's young, as a vine, and strangles the living daylights out of established trees. Grows right around them and forms a hollow trunk, which is different to the other trees I was describing about, because the hollow trunk is caused by the host tree, the tree that it grows over, being strangled to death and then rotting, while the tree rotting itself is just its normal inner stuff rotting. Anyway, we're not going to Johnson Hill or Karori Cemetery, which is that way. We're going this way. As I was saying, always preferable running downhill than running uphill. Woohoo! It's a nice little waterway, and it goes down that way. And so talk about how nice it is to run uphill. We're downhill. We're going uphill. And here is a matai tree. And yes, it's a matai, as it's not prickly. It's perfectly good to stroke. Yeah, it sounds so wrong stroking trees' leaves, but sometimes it works for identification purposes. And identification purposes only. Down we go. Where's like going down? Woo! Whee! Some people go on roller coasters. However, you don't need one when you got the bush. Nature's roller coaster. Guaranteed for fun. and even slips and spills as well. Some even have a dodgy safety record. Whee! You lose track of time. Whee! Bit slippery around here. Whew. Wow, can't believe it's only what, 2.5 minutes. Whew. I think I'll just walk up this hill and catch my breath. As you can see, we've travelled a fair bit, as Wellington is now somewhat visible. And now it isn't. The magic of forest clearings. Now you see it, now you don't. As you can see, I've only just started walking up that section. So, yeah. So let's continue on our way. Away, away, away. Woo-hoo! Away, away. Heading off, away, away, away. So, down we go again. Whee! Away, away, off we go again. Gosh, can't believe it, we're back here. Who would have thought, eh? Who would have thought? Anyway, you've probably seen this patch a million times. So, well, I guess it's back down to the picnic ground and decide where else I want to go. Don't see any eels at the moment, but well, here we are, back to the picnic grounds and off to somewhere else. I think this is the first shot from this little viewing platform where it actually looks sunny. I'm impressed. And that was it. That was part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 of Gardener Gone Wild Goes to Otari-Wilton Bush. As usual, please like, subscribe and stay tuned for part 3.